Morning everybody, I'm still in Herat and I've walked up this morning through this town here. It's a bit slippery in the morning, which I don't know why, because it's cool in the morning, so I've enjoyed walking around. But I've come up here to the minarets of Herat. Now I don't have any Wi-Fi connection, so I can't find out more than that. I reckon they're going to be made around 12th century when the Queen put in all the architecture. I'm not sure, but these minarets occur all the way across the Persian Empire, maybe other empires. I've seen them all over the place. They are amazing feats of engineering. We kind of look at them and go, oh yeah, minaret. But if you think these were in earthquake zones, they were made by mud bricks. The foundations on this stuff must be massive. I mean, I saw some stuff at Axiom in Ethiopia. They were like obelisks that were set up, I guess, Egyptian time, 2,000 years. Christianity came in there a bit after that, so 1,800 years ago or so. So I don't know if these are that old. I don't think they are. They're covered in, again, these glazed terracotta tiles. Unbelievable. If you think the glazing on that, you can see that there's a bit on there on the close one, and all four of these ones. There's one over here as well that you probably didn't see before. They're all slightly leaning Tower of Pisa. I don't know how high they are. They're not 100 meters, but they're probably like 50 odd meters of climbing rope, maybe a bit more, 60, 70 meters or something like that. Hard to judge. But it looks like they come up mud brick at the bottom, and then there's a bit down the bottom they might be able to see about a third of the way up where those pigeons just came into, and then it looks like it's terracotta all the way to the top. Colored beautiful blues. These would have been seen for miles around in all those hills. Unbelievable, and been a real sort of bastion of like, come here, Silk Road, we know engineering. You've come to a cultural civilization, a bit like I guess the Eiffel Tower, Statue of Liberty, or even the big buildings such as well, let's not let's not name the two big buildings that are no longer with us, because this is the wrong place to name that. However, big buildings that were known in time to stand the course of time, mostly, unless a war comes along and blows them up, and these haven't been blown up, thankfully, and they're being preserved here. All right, the minarets of Herat. That was very weird. I'll tell you in a second. I've just been put into that car, and hey boys, and here's your phone. Your phone is really and this man just there. Not sure what's going on. Okay, that's really strange. A guy called Afarat has turned up in his white, there it is, white Toyota Land Cruiser, which I thought he was part of the big capital T's. And I wasn't going to say no when he said, can you step into my car? I went to go for some food and been speaking to somebody in English who I thought was a government official. But I'm not sure if this guy just wants to me for guiding or something. I'm not too sure what's going on now. I've been driven to the other side of town, so I still don't have mobile reception, which is going to be interesting getting back, but I'll work it out bit by bit. That's what I love about traveling, solo traveling. So not too sure what happened then. I've ended up with a goodie bag full of dates, honey, Red Bull, more sugar than I think my body's had in at least a few months. And I'm not sure if he was part of the capital T's or not. However, he had a burner phone, which is quite interesting. And then he pulled out one of my WhatsApp number on another phone. However, after a bit of negotiation, I think it's probably been about 40 minutes now, he's dropped me back where I started. Another guy honked the horn, and someone came out and let me into this place, which is closed. So I'm wandering around with my goodie bag, and wow, look at the face of this thing, this minaret. How does that still stand? Imagine the foundations, what do they stand for? It's spectacular. And I'm still alive, which is always good. Look at these minarets of Herat. Imagine the details on these things. Seen for just kilometers around. And how they survived hundreds of years of earthquakes just being mud brick. Not a bit of iron in that entire thing. Amazing. Now I've walked through this gate over there, and there are these 3, 4 like tombs, I guess, And the guy that dropped me off, Asadullah, he said something about this is, because I was talking about Samarkand and Timur, and I think that Timur came here. Maybe this is where, maybe that's the Queen's, where the Queen was buried. I have to find some more information out. The minarets of Herat. Oh, look at this. I hadn't expected all this area was once covered in these terracotta tiles like that. Amazing. That is very spectacular if they were. I wonder if that was the same in Babylon. Remember that place I went to where Saddam Hussein had carved all of his names on every rock? So many names they couldn't actually get rid of them. Sorry if that made you a bit dizzy. You really feel the presence sitting here, and whatever this was, must have had a roof on it, I imagine, and like this feels like a big, important place. Well, in there's the next building I want to see. Right next to this minaret that is under massive construction. Look at that for scaffolding. And you know what, I love the way they put these power lines all the way between these amazing structures. Anyway, that will come. Great to see they're reconstructing everything. It hasn't been that long ago since this area was kind of devastated a little bit with the war. There were big stations here, US, Italians. I think there are 1,000 Italians or Spanish situated here, maybe both. So yeah, big military base, this area. So thankfully it wasn't destroyed, and these minarets survived, and now they're preserving them. Yeah, I mean, that's good. Go them. Yeah, as much as people say how bad and all that sort of stuff, they're putting their money into preserving these things that were well before them as well. Okay, but we also know the other stuff. How beautiful a garden shop. What an unexpected surprise, a garden shop. And look at the diverse plants they can have here. From the dryness and sun, you get these beautiful roses, smells really nice. You've got the cactuses, you got the succulents. Look at all these sort of evergreens. So beautiful. And you've got a whole lot of fruit trees in there. I don't think he wants to be recorded, so I'm just going to stay here, quite rightly. Look at that. Just right on the edge of town. Beautiful. So I've walked all the way around this huge structure that we saw on the other side, but I can't get in. But there's a comprehensive health center, CHC, which I think is a charity. It's so good to see that being set up here. Clearly there are some, nice one. Clearly there are some drug addicts around with the needles that I saw on the side. It's good to see that it had the lid on it. But I just saw something I've never seen before. So a lot of, guns in this area, of course. And you have these four-wheel drive utes. Seen that many times, guys hanging off the back. You've seen those in the movies. I've never seen a sedan, with the boot open, just a normal car, the boot open. Two guys in the back with the machine guns and guys in the front with the machine guns holding the window. Just went past just before. I thought, wow, that's like a suburban assault vehicle wandering around. Anyway, interesting, different ways that military takes its form, I guess, around the world. So I quickly jumped into this. No, hold on. Start that again. Quickly jumped into this tuk-tuk, trying to describe where I'm going in sign language. It's a pretty sexy one. Look at the size of that.